Hi students, welcome back to computer class. So today we are moving on to chapter number 3, that is tabular presentation in Microsoft Word. Sunitha ma'am is making a list of the numbers of the students in various clubs in section A to E of class 6. She can do this in two ways. Option 1 is first she is writing class, then she will be writing section A and under section A how much clubs are there and how much students are present in each club. Then section B, how much students are being present in each club is being written. See, this is a tiresome task. You have to simply waste your energy. Instead of this, you can write this in another way. See, option 2, a table is being drawn. Okay, and first the class is being written, then various sections are being written, then various club names are being written, and under each section how much students are being present are also being written in a tabular form. Okay, and it has been easy for us to understand. In the first case, we have to look on through each section for finding how much students are present in each club. Here, since we are using a tabular forms which consist of rows and columns, it is easier for us to read. Okay, and in this chapter we are going to study about how to create a table, how to enter data into each cell, how to modify a table. Okay, we are going to study about a table, how to create a table in Microsoft Word. Okay, then what do you mean by a table? Arrangement of data in rows and column is known as a table. In that picture we have seen how a table is. That is, it consists of rows and columns. Arrangement of data in rows and columns is known as a table. And horizontal arrangement of a data is known as a row. Vertical arrangement of a data is known as a column. See, this is a simple example of a table. Okay, arrangement of data in rows and columns, it is known as table. What you see in this picture is a table. And the horizontal arrangement of data is known as row. Vertical arrangement of data is known as column. And the intersection of a row and column is known as cell. Intersection of a row and column is known as a cell. Okay. And tables are mainly used for organizing and presenting data in a neat and orderly manner. Okay. Why we are using tables? Tables are used for organizing and presenting data in a neat and organized manner. And we can represent or display data in a easy to read format. First, let us study how to create a table. There are two methods for creating a table. First method is step number 1, click on the insert tab. Step number 2, click on the table. Step number 3, drag the mouse pointer to select the rows and columns. Step number 4, click on the last square of the selected range. Okay, this is the steps for creating a table by using the first method. First step is you have to click on the insert tab. Then you have to click on the table. See, many rows and columns are present. You have to select or you have to drag the mouse pointer for selecting the rows and columns. And at last you have to click on the last square of the selected range. Once again, you have to first click on the insert tab, then you have to click on the table. The rows and columns will be present. You have to select the rows and columns, the range for rows and columns. For that, you have to drag the mouse pointer for selecting the rows and columns. At last, you have to click on the last square of the selected range. Okay. See, a table is being created with rows and columns. Okay, this is how you can create a table by using first method. By using this method, we can insert a table of up to 8 rows and 10 columns. Okay, with this first method, you can insert a table of 8 rows and 10 columns. And if you want more rows and columns, you have to use another method, that is the second method. Okay, in second method, the steps are, first you have to click on the insert tab. Second step is click on the table. And third step is from the drop down list, click on the insert table. And fourth step is the insert table dialog box will appear. you have to enter the number of rows and columns under the table size. And step number 5, click on the OK. The table will be inserted. Okay, so this is the step for creating a table by using the second method. Okay, first step is you have to click on the insert tab. Then click on the table. See, there is a drop down menu or drop down arrow that is being present. Okay, and you can see there is an option given for insert table. You have to click on that option, insert table. Once you click on the option insert table, the insert table dialog box will appear. What you see in this picture is the insert table dialog box. Okay, and there is an option given for table size. Under the table size section, the number of columns as well as the number of rows can be arranged by clicking on that arrows. Okay, so you can enter the number of rows and columns under the table size, and at last you have to click on the OK. The table will be inserted. Next, let us study about how to insert a row or column. That is already a table. We have seen how a table is being created with some rows and columns. Okay. In addition to the rows and columns that are present inside the table, I want extra rows and columns to be inserted. Okay. So for doing that, you have to follow some steps. So for inserting a row or column, you have to follow the steps. Step number 1 is click on the cell where the row or column is to be added. And step number 2 is click on the layout tab. Step number 3, in the rows and columns group, click on any one of this option. First option is insert above. That option is used for inserting a row above the selected cell. Okay. Second option is insert below. It is used for inserting a row below the selected cell. Then a third option is insert left, which is used for inserting a column on the left of the selected cell. And insert right, which is used for inserting a column on the right of the selected cell. From the name itself, we can understand easily what we mean by insert above, insert below, insert left and insert right. Okay. So for inserting a row or column, you have to follow the steps. First step is you have to click on the layout tab. And see, in the rows and column sections, there are options provided. First option is insert above. Second option is insert below. Third option is insert left. And fourth option is insert right. Okay. So you can click on any one of the options. So this is how you can insert an extra row or column to a existing table. Okay. Next, let us study how to delete an existing row or column. To delete a row or column, you have to follow the steps. Step number 1, click on the cell where a row or column is to be deleted. Step number 2, click on the layout tab. Step number 3, in the rows and columns group, click on the delete. A drop-down list appears. Step number 4, click on the desired option from the list. Okay, so these are the steps for deleting a row or column from Microsoft Word. First step is you have to click on the layout tab. See, there is an option given for delete. You have to click on that particular option. A drop-down list appears. Okay. And many options are there. You can delete cells, you can delete columns, delete rows, delete table. Okay, I want to delete rows, so I am clicking on the option delete rows. Okay, so this is how we can delete a row or column from Microsoft Word. Next, let us study how to change the height of a row. That is, you can increase or decrease the height of a row in a table. So for doing that, you have to follow some steps. Step number 1 is click in a cell in the row. Step number 2, click on the layout tab. Step number 3, click on the properties in the table group. Step number 4, the table dialog box appears. You have to click on the row tab. Step number 5, click on the specify height checkbox. In step number 6, type the required row height. And step number 7, click on the OK button. Okay, see in the figure 3.6, first you have to click on the layout tab. And second, you have to click on the properties. then the table property dialog box will appear. What you see in this picture is the table properties dialog box. Okay, there is an tab given for row. You have to click on that, and next step is you have to click on the specify height checkbox. Okay, and you have to type the required row height. At last you have to click on the OK button. Okay, in the table properties dialog box, first you have to click on the row tab, and there is an option given for specify height. You have to type the required row height, and at last you have to click on the OK button. So this is how you can change the height of a row in a table. Next, let us study how to change the column width. The steps are similar to how we changed the row height, only little difference is there. Okay, first step is you have to click in the cell in a cell in the column. Okay, second step is click on the layout tab. Third step, click on the properties in the table group. Fourth step is the table properties dialog box appears. You have to click on the column tab. Step number 5, click on the preferred width checkbox. Step number 6, type the required column width. And step number 7, click on the OK button. See, the steps are similar to how we changed the row height, only little difference is there. Okay, that is till step number 4, the same steps are being used as that of the row height. Okay, and the difference is from the step number 4, that is by clicking on the table properties you have to click on the column tab. At changing the row height we have to click on the row tab, but here we are clicking on the column tab. Okay, so here look at this is the table properties dialog box, and you have to click on the column tab, and there is an option given for preferred width. You have to click on that, and you have to type the required column width. At last you have to click on the OK button. Okay, next topic is about merging cells. Okay, to merge means to combine or to join. Okay, merging means combining or joining. That is, in Microsoft Word we can combine 2 or more cells into a single cell by using merging cells option. Okay, and the steps for merging cells is, first you have to select the cells that you wish to combine to make into a single cell. See, in this table the cells are being selected. Okay, and second step is you have to click on the layout tab, and third step is in the merge group you have to click on the merge cells. See, the arrow is being pointed over to merge cells. You have to click over that particular merge cells option. Okay, see in this picture, here 2 tables are provided and we are merging the cells of this 2 table. And look at the third table, that is the first table and second table has been merged into a single table. Okay, this is what we mean by merging cells. Merging cells means we are combining or joining. Next, let us study about splitting cells. Merging cells means combining or joining together of 2 cells into a single cell. Okay, splitting cells means it is opposite of merging cells. That is, when we split a cell, we will be dividing that cell into 2 or more cells. Okay, and the text of the original cell will appear in the first cell of the split cell. And the steps for splitting a cell is, first step, select the cell you want to split. Step number 2, click on the layout tab. Third step, in the merge group, click on the split cells. And step number 4, in the split cell dialog box, enter the number of columns or rows you wish to split the cell into. Okay, similarly like the other, similarly like how we did merging. First we have to select the cell which you want to split. Then you have to click on the layout tab. Okay, see in that figure 3.13, you have to click on the layout tab. Then third step is, in the merge group, you have to click on the split cells. Once you click on the split cells, the split cell dialog box will appear. See, this is the split cell dialog box. And inside this, you have to enter the number of rows or columns that you want to split into. Okay, so you have to enter the number of columns and rows, and at last you have to click on the OK button. So these are the steps for splitting a cell in a table. Splitting means it is the opposite of merging cells. That means in merging you are combining together two cells into a single cell. In splitting you are splitting a cell into two or more different cells. Okay. Next, let us study how to resize a table. That is, you can increase or decrease the size of a table. For that, the steps are: first step, move the pointer on the table until the resize handle appears on the lower right corner. Second step, press the left mouse button and drag until the table is of the size that you want. See in the picture 3.16. First, we'll move the pointer on the table until the resize handle they appear on the lower right corner. Okay, see, resize handle is being present at the lower right corner, and then you have to press the left mouse button and you have to drag the table according to the size that you want. Okay, so this is how you can resize a table. Next topic is applying borders and shading. To enhance the appearance of a table, you can apply a variety of borders and shading styles. And you have to follow some steps. Step number 1, you have to select the table. Step number 2, under the table tools there are two options provided. See in this picture, design and layout. You have to click on the design tab. Step number 2 is under the table tools, you have to click on the design tab. Step number 3, click on the borders drop down arrow and choose borders and shading at the end of the list. See in this end of the list there is an option given for borders and shading. You have to click on that. Then the borders and shading dialog box will open. Okay. Third step is you have to click on the borders drop down arrow and you have to choose the borders and shading option which is present at the end of the list. The borders and shading dialog box will open. See, this is the borders and shading dialog box. Okay. Under the style section you should choose a line style, and under the color section you should select a color for the border, and under the width you have to choose a width for the border. Okay, and look at the top section, there is an option given for shading. You have to click on that shading tab and you have to select a color. Okay, and at last you have to click on the OK button. So once you open the border and shading dialog box, first you have to choose the line style. Second, you have to choose the color for the border. Third, you have to choose the width for the border, and under the shading tab you have to choose a color, and at last you have to click on the OK button. So this is how you can apply borders and shading to a table. Okay, next topic is about cell alignment. Cell alignment, they determines how the text or numbers are to be positioned in a cell. Okay, cell alignment is the one who determine how where the text or numbers are to be placed. There are two types of alignment: vertical alignment and horizontal alignment. Vertical alignment, they determine whether the text is placed at the top, center or bottom of a cell. Horizontal alignment, they determine whether the text is placed to the left, center or right of a cell. Okay. See, vertical alignment means it will determine whether the text is placed at the top, center or bottom of a cell. Okay. Vertical alignment determine whether the text is placed at the top, center or bottom of a cell. And horizontal alignment, they will determine whether the text is placed to the left, right or center of a cell. Once again, vertical alignment, they determine whether the text is placed at the top, center or bottom of a cell. Horizontal alignment, they determine whether the text is placed to the left, center or right of a cell. Now let us see the steps which are to be followed to change the alignment of a text in a cell or a table. First step is you have to right click and select the cell alignment option. See in this picture 3.20, you have to right click and there is an option given for cell alignment. You have to select on that and many options will be provided. You have to choose the alignment option that you want. Okay, so the steps for changing the alignment of a text is, first you have to right click and select the cell alignment option, and second step is you have to choose the alignment option which you like. So this is what we mean by cell alignment. Cell alignment is the one who determines where the text or number is to be placed. Next topic is changing text direction. When you type text inside a table cell, automatically it will appear horizontally. Okay, and if you want to change this text direction vertically, you have to follow some steps. Okay, first one is, see in the figure 3.21, you have to right click and select the option text direction. And see in the figure 3.22, the text direction table cell dialog box will appear. Okay, and you have to choose the direction option that you wish. And step number 3 is you have to click on the OK button. Finally, the direction of the text will be changed. Once again, you have to right click and select the option text direction. The text direction table cell dialog box will appear. You have to choose the direction option from them. Okay, and at last you have to click on the OK button. The direction of the text will be automatically changed. So this is how you change the text direction. So with this we come to the end of chapter number 3, that is tabular presentation in Microsoft Word. Hope all of you have understood all the topics. Thank you.